Joe, leave me alone for just 1 second so I can hit this timer.
There we
I'm
go.
not happy. It's not happening 2 weeks in a row, my man. It's not happening 2 weeks in a row. The timer's going, the tunes are going, but gosh, I've left my volume on. Jeez. Next
Rookie
week.
move.
There's always next week. This is week 11, Joe.
Week 11.
How's week 11 going for you? It's only Tuesday, but it already feels like Thursday or Friday.
This week's been flying by for me. I don't know what it is. I've been busy at work doing different things, and I can't believe it's Tuesday, and tomorrow is it's funny because when we used to have Carson Wentz on the team, we used to call Wednesdays Wednesday. And it's no longer Wednesday, thank God.
So what is there anything that has replaced that besides a better quarterback?
A better quarterback. They don't really have. So the guy on the radio, he used to call him the Bronco because he's from North Dakota. So they used to say, let the Bronco buck. That was like the thing.
Isn't it crazy how Carson Wentz was supposed to be the big thing?
It's a shame. Like it really is a shame, the whole downfall of his career, and just I hate to say it, but just some people are not made for Philadelphia. It's a tough town. Like, I mean, it really is. And it's just one of those things. I just don't think he was cut out for this area. And I think Jalen Hurts, with his background, going to Alabama and going to Oklahoma, and his dad being a coach, coaching him when he was growing up and still being a coach, I think, goes a long way.
It's bad for him, but one heck of a deal that Nick Foles got out of it.
Hey, yeah,
because he was meant to be the guy at one time, wasn't he? Or it looked like he had a chance to be, and then
when Chip Kelly was here, I forget if it was first or second season Chip Kelly was here, and but that offense was like ahead of its time, kind of. No one really knew how to, defend it, and then, but how it is in the NFL once
they figured out fast.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think Nick Foles. I don't think he ever really was the quarterback, though. I think he just had the a lucky season or two, and then the Super Bowl he caught lightning, and
he caught fire in a bottle, man. He caught it in a bottle, and no matter what happens, I mean, I don't even know what he's doing now, backing up. I don't know, but he'll be able to always say he was Super Bowl MVP. I mean, think about that. I mean, so many guys that have these long, successful careers, and some never get to the Super Bowl. Some never win a Super Bowl, and much less become the MVP. And he's done all those things, and was, by most accounts, never predicted to have that kind of success as a quarterback.
Yeah.
What's up, John? What's up, Pat? Hey, your boy Pat's in the house, Joe. Hey,
Pat.
Pat, go easy on us tonight, okay? Especially go easy for Joe.
It's Cape May, Pat. This is see it right here, Cape May Brewery. It's they're golden. It's really good. I mostly just drink Cape May, Pat. I don't know. They have a really good like a Corona one that comes out in the summertime. They have like a cranberry shandy that's really good. What else? I like their Oktoberfest, actually. It's pretty good too. My other go-to beer is Yingling. Yingling's, it's always been pretty big in the area because we live, we're pretty close to where the brewery's at.
I remember when I lived in Florida, Yingling was, hey, Vince, what's up, Vince? John, Ross, what's up, everybody? Thanks for
Engineer,
joining us for the pre-scout.
Another Jersey boy.
When I lived in Florida working in TV, Yingling was hugely popular down there. I mean, it was like what everybody drank. And it wasn't this far west when I moved back to Arkansas, but it has since made it out here. And of course, it was a fan favorite for, it went through its honeymoon period where everybody was buying it all up at once because they had heard about it on the East Coast, but had never had a chance to try it. No, I mean, it's good. It's good. I don't like the light version of it. The light version was not my favorite at all. Too light and too expensive for not that great of a light beer.
Yeah.
Joe, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and guess what? The end of the pre-scout is here. The Budget Wooder Show starts right now, Joe, and we have so much stuff to talk about tonight. I try to kind of get it straightened out in my head before we go on the air, but sometimes there's just too many things to coordinate in the old noggin. So tonight we've got stuff planned for you, but we're going to dribble, shoot, and hope for the best here on the Budget Wooder Show. We're here every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 8 Central. Me, Budget Lawns, Joe, Wooder Boy Productions. If you're not subscribed to Joe's channel, please go over and do that. I'll leave the link to his channel down in the description of every stream, so make sure you subscribe to him. Also, make sure you're checking out past streams that you missed. Leave us a comment. Hit that thumbs up. Any feedback we can get from you to make this show better for you each week, we will be forever grateful. Joe, we did get some feedback last week, right? Do you remember what feedback I'm talking about this evening?
Yeah, but before we do that feedback.
Oh yes, don't let me move on too fast, Joe.
I gotta do my. This one's a cool one actually. So today in history, back in 1775, can you guess what happened in 1775? I'll give you a hint. It has to do with riding on a horse, Revolutionary War. Do you have any idea? Riding on a horse, saying a famous phrase. The British are.
Are you trying to test my history knowledge, Joe?
I am.
I rely on you for these things to not quiz me, but to tell me things and make me smarter.
So 1775, the Midnight Ride of Paul Revere.
Oh,
the renowned silversmith is better remembered as the folk hero of the American Revolution, who this night in 1775 made a dramatic ride on horseback to warn the Boston area residents of imminent attack by the British troops and the famous words of "the British are coming, the British are coming."
Hey,
that's your today in history, guys.
Are you a Mel Gibson, The Patriot fan? Do you like that movie with him and
Heath Ledger?
Heath Ledger.
No,
you're not a Mel Gibson fan? Heath Ledger fan? No. Where did it fall short for you?
I think he's Mel Gibson's the kind of actor that overacts.
Yeah.
I just think he's like, I don't know, just something. I don't know. Heath Ledger, rest in peace. I think he was a hell of an actor. It's a shame he died so young. I think he was a really great actor. I mean, the Joker. I mean, it's just, that role, man. I could watch that movie over and over again.
Papa's got me too. Freedom from Braveheart. I remember in the 5th grade, we did a lesson or a unit on the Revolutionary War, and some of the class members were the Redcoats, and I was one of the Redcoats, and we got to be like brutally hard on our classmates when it came to telling them what to do in class, be quiet, put your pencils down, all that kind of stuff that, we were kind of like the police of the classroom, but we were the Redcoats. And not a whole lot of things stick out from the 5th grade, but I do remember the time that I was the Redcoat, one of the Redcoats.
In my town, we have it's called the Old Stone Village, and it's like a lot of Revolutionary time houses like from that era, and we have a village, and the one house is supposedly George Washington, passed through it at some point at some time, and but yeah, so this area, we're pretty
a lot of history,
a lot of history in this area.
Yeah, very cool. We've got some Civil War battlegrounds here close to my neck of the woods, but not quite the American history from the northeastern part of the state. Mm-hmm. Hey, Joe, that was a good one. I like that. I'm enlightened, and I'll have to store that quote away. I'm sure if I thought about it, I would have gotten it. You know what I mean? If I would have thought about it long enough. But we did get some feedback after last week's show, and Joe, would you call that constructive criticism, harsh criticism? Would you call it friendly banter or just
All
downright
the
hate?
all the above, I
All
would
the
say.
above. So,
Yeah.
if you're wondering why tonight our thumbnail is the two lawn idiots, because we were so kindly and respectfully, and I would say to a certain extent, maybe there is some slight element of truth to it.
Yeah.
We got called idiots. So
Yeah.
if we're going to be called idiots, Joe, we might as well play the part. So tonight we're the two lawn idiots, and our friend that called us the two lawn idiots was none other than the Lawn Guido. So if the Lawn Guido's out there, hey, we want to say thank you. You
Shout
helped.
out to Long Guido.
Your feedback helped provide some material for tonight's program.
Yeah.
Without you tonight, we wouldn't even have our sponsor, because this sponsor tonight, Joe.
The sponsor felt bad about the comment, and they reached out to us and they said, "Hey,
they said, hey,
know,
we want to treat you guys. What are they going to treat us to tonight, Joe?
they're gonna treat us to the Guido's alone pizza. You know what I'm talking about? This is a better ingredients, the better fruit. Guido's the lone pizza."
Joe, okay.
This is actually so his nickname. So his nickname is Uncle Luigi. You know what I'm talking about? You got Luigi, you got Mario, you got the Guidos. You know, you got all the Italian folk out there. And now I'm going.
Now you're going
a British accent.
No, you were going Irish there for a minute.
Irish or Scottish or something. Yeah, I do have a little bit of Scottish in me.
We actually do have a Guido's pizza. Several of them here locally.
It's a Guido's the pizza. You know, Uncle Luigi.
But when
I'm 80% Italian, you think I should be able to knock that out a little bit better, that accent?
Well, here's the thing, Joe. You tried it for David Beckham, and I'm going to be honest, you failed miserably. And so when this all kind of started materializing this week for the Lawn Guido's Pizza, I thought, finally, Joe has the perfect fit. The pieces of the puzzle are fitting together and the stars are aligning. Joe's going to be able to crank out his
I almost brought out my white beater and my gold chain and my headband, into my fist pump Jersey Shore days. And but it actually, I was like, that'd be a little bit too embarrassing.
But it actually worked out this week, Joe, because guys, I don't know if you've been paying attention. You don't even have to be paying attention to TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. Unfortunately, that's where a lot of the youngsters, as they say, get a lot of their news these days. But you don't even have to be paying attention to TikTok to see this story. And legend has it, Joe, that this was actually one of the Lawn Guido's delivery drivers.
No way.
Are you serious? That's what I've heard. The Lawn Guido's delivery driver is not just a hero for delivering pizzas, but he was a hero this week for stopping a high-speed police chase. Joe, folks, if you haven't seen this, take just a second, listen, and watch as Lawn Guido's pizza delivery driver goes from delivery man to hero, all on one single trip.
Oh! Oh, shit! That's a high-speed chase.
I love that he's still got the pizza in his hand. Like, it's just awesome. This is actually in Delco, which is like it's Delaware County, which is up kind of near my area. Pat knows Delco.
Pat, you know Delco? Delco, Pat? Oh, look! Oh!
Damn!
No!
Look at that. Hey!
No!
He just like casually sticks his leg out like it's no big deal.
He's like,
and the guy just falls like flat on his side there. That's just like.
But did you see the interview with the dude? He was on the news.
Yeah,
and,
he was. I saw it today.
He said something like, "Well, I didn't really know what to do, so I stuck my leg out because I was still holding the pizza."
and like, let me tell you, he's got like a ninja grip on that pizza. Like it literally just doesn't move. Like he's just holding that still. Like, look at that.
Ninja grip on the pizza and
Yeah,
shins of steel, because
boom.
that probably would have snapped my little pencil chicken leg in
And
half.
that guy was running, like he was booking it.
I
Oh
mean,
man,
I think the police said, he was definitely what they needed to catch this guy, because it
yeah.
was not
He's got a, I
going
think he's got a career in
well.
law enforcement now.
I mean, what? Okay, this guy delivers your pizza, and you see this happen. How much are you gonna tip the dude? I mean, you
If I
gotta
have
say,
cash on me, yeah,
if you
give
got
him
cash
something.
on you, you gotta say, thank God I ordered this pizza tonight, and you stopped this terrible thing from happening in our neighborhood. I mean, what a
That's just
freaking.
awesome.
Hey,
And I had to put the pizza background in there too.
it's
Just
go ahead, Joe.
no, I was just saying I had to put like a little pizza background behind the video just to make it all tie together.
Well, he was definitely in the right place at the right time. And Joe,
What
I want.
Well, speaking of pizza, what kind of pizza do you like? Do you like toppings? Do you like plain
So
cheese, tomato pie, Sicilian?
it just depends. Like, I'll sit here and go round and round with people about what the best pizza place is, and you have to make clear lines between the two. You've got like takeout, delivery, fast food style pizza, and then you've got your nicer sit down pizza joints. But if I'm talking just takeout style pizza, my favorite is called Marco's. Do you have Marco's up there?
No, nothing like that.
And
We got we got like all Italian names. It's
it just depends. If I'm wanting to just go ham and just eat like 20 pieces, give me
yeah,
fewer toppings, just simple single
yeah,
topping pizzas. But we can have the debate all night long that pineapple doesn't belong on pizza. But I love me a good pineapple pizza, a good barbecue chicken pizza. Look, when it comes to pizza, there's really not a whole lot I'm not going to eat, especially if
yeah.
it's free. But I'm not picky. I'm not a picky eater. Just give me food and I'll hammer it. What about you?
I like a good tomato pie. There's a couple places here that you can get like it's already cooked kind of, and then you throw it in the oven, heat it up like Licio's Bakery by us. We have that you can go in, you can get like different Sicilian style, square style stuff. You get a big ass box and they'll throw it in there, and then you take it home, you heat it in the oven. But I get pepperoni, sausage, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me. We mostly just get plain cheese pizza because that's what the kids like.
That's what I was about to say. I've been made fun
Yeah,
of so many times. All you get is cheese and pepperoni. I'm like, dude,
but
I got kids.
cer-
Like, they're not going to eat
yeah,
anything else.
but certain people make it like differently. Like I hate the greasy pizza where you like hold the slice and it just drips off. I just hate that. There's a place we go to. It's funny, but the name of the place is called Pizza Box.
Oh, yeah.
A very generic name, but that they're all Italian in there. They got the pictures up of them in Italy and this and that, inside the pizza place. And we just continue to go to that place because it's good. I've tried probably just about every pizza place in my town probably at some point. And you always find that one place that go-to place that you just keep going to, and that's a place we usually continue to go to. It's just good family run business, and why not?
Why not? Hey, well, shoot. Now I'm drawing a blank. You said it'll come back to me. Pizza. Joe, refresh my memory. I'm sitting. I'm three. It's 3-3. I'm sitting here trying to watch a Razorback game too, and we're playing a midweek series versus an in-state team, and it's tied up in the bottom of the seventh. So forgive me. Yeah, I'll get back to it. Pizza. Joe, help me.
Yeah,
Help me. Help me. What were we talking about?
pizza.
Oh, forget it. Forget it. No, but
I don't know.
well, this all started with the Lon Guido and his pizza place,
Oh,
and then we know that Homeboy was in the right place at the right time. Speaking of right place at the right time, John's like cricket, cricket. This is one of those where I can't let it out of my head because I was sitting there. Maybe it was something somebody said in the chat. Marco is an Italian name. Yeah, Marcos is an
yeah, it's Italian name. I don't.
Italian
It's not.
name.
It's
Ah,
not.
yes, here it is, Joe.
Okay.
are you a big fan of Dave Portnoy? I don't know if we've talked about this before, but
Yeah.
he does his
His
pizza
pizza.
reviews, his one bite pizza reviews.
Yeah.
It was funny. He was in the central part of Arkansas, back for the Arkansas Derby a month and a half or so ago, and he did a few pizza places down in Hot Springs. And I'm sitting there scrolling through the comments of these two reviews, I think it was, and there's the Longineer, Vince the Longineer. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
I saw one of his comments. I was like, well, I didn't anticipate seeing you here tonight, Vince. But so you never know who you'll run into in the comment section of Dave Portnoy's pizza reviews. I kind of like them. Some people, you're either a Dave Portnoy fan or you hate the guy. I think a lot of the hate and jealousy comes from the folks that see a dude that's living his best life, and the way he got there is working his ass off, and some people have a hard time watching other people's success and fun.
I mean, if you know the story behind Barstools and like how he started, it's crazy. Like what they were
it didn't
doing.
just fall into his lap. He worked his ass off and made a lot of really good, bold decisions ahead of everybody else when he was still running a little newspaper. Was what Barstool Sports was. And when everybody else was wanting to go find that nice, safe, comfortable, cush job, he was like, heck no, I'm going to keep grinding this thing out, and it paid off. And when I see people, dogging on the dude, he does some kind of crazy, immature stuff, but let him. I mean, he's living his best life, and I guarantee you there are a lot of people out there that would love to go hang out with him just for a weekend, do sports and gamble and all the other crazy things they get into. But
I've seen a couple YouTubers try and cut his lawn last summer when he put a video out about his lawn being long and not, people were like bitching and complaining at him about it. And there was a couple big time YouTubers that were saying, "Oh, I'll come out there and I'll cut your lawn for you," but
and they did it.
No. He was probably like, "Who the hell's this LCN guy?"
Okay, I get what you're saying now. Hey, let's get back to being in the right place at the right time. Because I've been in the right place at the right time before. Did you see my video this past weekend?
I did.
Instead of cutting your grass, believe it or not, some people are burning it in the spring, especially warm season folks with Bermuda, to scalp all that dormant material off. So they're burning in place of scalping.
Yeah.
So if you want to see a little bit about what I think about it, I did this video this past week, but the big part of this video was me being in the right place at the right time. The one time I found myself putting out a dormant Bermuda lawn fire, not because one of my nearby neighbors was intentionally burning it, but because their leaf fire got entirely out of control, and I was in the right place at the right time. But I share that story in that video, and also give some myths and facts about burning grass. So if you want to check that out, go give it a look. Joe, you haven't been doing a weekly video on the weekends here lately. What's been going on? Are you stacking them up with your new laser?
Yeah, I do have one that I want to film. I did film it, and then I'm not happy with it, so I'm kind of want to refilm it. But honestly, there's not a whole lot to do in my grass right now, and I'm one of those people that are just, I'm not going to get out there. I'm not going to get on there and just repeat the same thing over and over again and, do the same video that I did last year or whatever. And so, if something comes awry and I feel the need that I want to put it out there, I'm going to put it out there. I mean, I'm just busy with my laser and, making the signs for Super TA behind me here. And
where is he? I
don't know. He's been quiet.
Do we need to send the search party out?
I made this for him, and then I made my video that comes out Thursday is specifically for him, and I show the process of how I made it. And then the guy don't even show up. I mean, like, what's up with that?
Who can we send out to go do a welfare check? Hey, but Joe and I were talking before we came on live. I don't know what it's like where you live, but Joe just mentioned he's really not got a whole lot going on in his lawn. And this spring has been quite unusual. It has been warm, it has been dry, it has been anything but typical, and that trend will continue this weekend because we're going to see temperatures dropping into the 50s for highs and the 30s for lows. We could have a hard freeze this Saturday night, Joe, and I like what you just said there, because if it's not time and it's not the right weather for the lawn to really be doing its thing and get out and take care of it, what's the point?
Yeah.
I finally got out in my lawn, which we'll show you some pictures coming up of both of our lawns, kind of where we stand at this point in the spring. I finally got out and did something. But in a recent video, I talked about how I'm not getting out in my lawn till middle of April, because that is typically when my last frost or freeze is. And I did that. I waited till April 15th, on this past Saturday, to get out and scalp and clean up some mulch beds. And what do you know? After that date, when you kind of think you're home free, a hard freeze possible this weekend with more cold weather, cold nights, cool days, nothing that the Bermuda likes, until those temperatures at night get in the 60s, with those daytime highs steady in the upper 70s or low 80s and hotter, is just not going to do a whole lot. But I almost caved, Joe. I almost got out and did some planting already so far this spring, and I'm glad I didn't, because had I gone ahead and done that, I would likely be out there this weekend playing the cover-up game with whatever I can find to cover up new plants. And fortunately, I don't have to do that. So I always like to think that everything happens for a reason, and I've held off this long because this cold weather was coming, and we'll just take it as it comes. What's it? You said it's supposed to be what in your neck of the woods this weekend?
Friday it's supposed to be 87. I mean, but it's been going up and down. Like last weekend, it was Saturday was nice, or it was a little shitty, but we had some spotty rain on Saturday, but yeah, it's been up and down. The weather's just been, it hasn't been steady yet. I mean, I always remember when my dad had his lawn business. I mean, he really wouldn't start really ramping up to like really cut, have everybody on a schedule. It wouldn't be until like the last week of April going into like the first week of May where everybody would be on a pretty steady schedule of, if they were every week, they were every week, or if they were every 2 weeks, they were every 2 weeks. And, that's just how it is in our area. I mean, my grass is growing, it's growing, but it's not, and I mean, it's filled in since the winter time, but it's not growing enough where I'm cutting it, twice a week yet. I'm still I'm still down to a once a week mow. And I probably won't get that way until, like I said, probably the last week of April going into the first week of May. So, that's just how it is in our area. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that, that this is our weather. I mean, it's usually how it is every year.
Well, I mean, I'm in the South. I mean, I'm in Arkansas, but even though by all accounts I'm in the South, I'm in the northern part of Arkansas, in the transition zone with Bermuda grass. So I have just learned over the years that it doesn't matter how soon you want the lawn season to start, just like you. We don't really get going until the end of April or first part of May. It just depends on the spring. We haven't seen rain in 2 weeks, where this time last year we were having historic rainfall. Have not seen rain in 2 weeks. We've been unusually warm, but that's all about to change. We got rain coming back. We've got storms, and then we finally have more seasonable, even cooler than seasonable temperatures. So nothing about it has been normal this season. But I guess that is okay, because I have been pretty preoccupied, Joe. And with the project that we have going on in the front lawn, it has taken me kind of away, or sidetracked me a little bit from what's going on in the backyard. And this weather we've been having, warm and dry, has been ideal for the workers doing this, because if you could dream up a forecast for this kind of project in April, we have certainly got it. So I'm hoping that will, even if it cools off, that the dry conditions will continue. But man, Joe, I've been posting some updates, but today when I came home, things look like they're. I mean, they are freaking taking shape. Look at this.
Wow. Look at
It
that.
it is.
That's a wall.
That's just wall number one, Joe. That is wall number one.
What in the Bud Light is going on behind that wall there? Is that like is that sod
No.
or
So here we go. Let's scroll through a couple of these. So here's a closer view of the
all
front
right,
wall.
all right, I see it now.
So what you're seeing is that space there towards the front part of the wall is going to be planter space, and we'll have planter space along the front.
I do like that. Like I really like that texture. Like it looks. It's like I don't know. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like a more modern looking look like texture, like architectural feel. Like how the brick is like a. Is it brick or is it like cinder block?
So what that is there's like this is a modular system. So it's a Belgard modular retaining wall. It's like blocks that are pieced together, and then there is this veneer piece that looks like the stones that is put on the front of the wall. So it gives you that
Okay.
natural stone look.
Gotcha.
But the cost of labor and
Okay.
natural stone was just going to be
Yeah.
outrageously expensive. So
Yeah.
you're able to
So
use.
it's almost like a tile in a way. Like they the way they put that on there.
They piece the cinder block together behind it, and then they
Yeah.
attach the
And then
veneers to the front. So
gotcha.
here's a different angle
That's
that
cool.
might show you a little. Well, it doesn't get it from the best angle, but this is what I
Wow.
came home to today. You see that
Wow.
big trench to the right? That is going to
Yeah.
be wall number 2. So in between
Okay.
those two walls, we are going to have flower bed space.
Gotcha.
And those stairs are going to carry up between those flower beds, that flower bed space, and up through the two walls. So once you get to the top of that second wall is where we'll finally get into the Bermuda grass. So it's I've been
So just two walls are going to be that bottom wall and then the next wall there, and then it's going to be flat at the top.
with planter space in between, or with
Gotcha.
grass in between
Yeah.
at the top of the second wall. But then we're going to have some chopped stone borders put in and have some more flower bed space up
Man,
along
that
the
is
house.
some work, man.
Because up along the house it's a north facing wall. So in the summer and in winter especially, it does not get a whole lot of sun up next to the house. So we're going to be cutting all that sod out up on the brick along the house, and that's going to all turn into planter space as well. So I've been saying all along that
Tell you what, that's a very neat job site. Like it seems like the guys are very just like they clean up. Like it's not like a
it's
ton of
incredible.
wasted material that's sitting around. It just seems like it's very coordinated. I mean, I give props to that crew that's doing it, man. It's shoo.
They
It's a lot of
leave
work.
every afternoon when they leave. They're tidying things up. If
Yeah.
there's a chance for storms or anything, you can tell they've battened down the hatches. But
Yeah.
you know, this project really grew massive legs. I'm talking. It started out as just possibly being a wall along the sidewalk, just to kind of relieve some of the steep grade. But as it got going, in the early discussions, my wife and I, we plan on being in this house for some time, and we want a functional, usable space. And we had these ideas that we said, look, we could do this in phases. But are you really going to come back in a few years after you've gotten the lawn all nice and manicured and the grass is looking great and you've included some flower beds? Are you really going to come back in a few years and do another phase and then do another phase down the road? And then 10 years from now, you've got it all done. So we said, you know what? Let's just bite the bullet and do the entire thing. And we're looking at this as an investment. Where we live in Northwest Arkansas, you've got the Walmart home office is just a jump, skip, and a hop away. The Sam's Club home office is just a jump, skip, and a hop away. Tyson Chicken headquarters is in the same town we teach in. JB Hunt Trucking is here. This area is not slowing down. So not only will it be a huge improvement for our family, but it'll be an improvement for the value of the home one day. So it's a win-win for us.
Yeah.
I keep getting lots of comments and feedback on some of the updates that I'm posting, and I've had to tell some people just slow down. Like they're making a lot of assumptions about, oh, if that costs that, he's getting screwed. If this, all these different ideas that come to their mind, I'm like, just slow down, because we're not even close to finish yet. And this is just on this one side of the driveway. We're doing it on the right side of the driveway as well. Because I know when we moved into this house, I got a lot of comments and feedback saying, "Man, I couldn't deal with a hill like that. I would never buy that house."
I've always wanted to ask you was like, I'm sure it was a new neighborhood, right? It was a new like.
No, this neighborhood was finished up in 2016, somewhere around there. But there were 4 random lots on the back of the neighborhood that had not been built on yet. The builder had just sat on them. For what reason, I don't know. But this is a real desirable neighborhood, and we wanted to build. And when we found an option to build out here, it was tough to pass up. But I was ready to pass it up because of the lawn. My wife was not, because of the house. And when we considered the house and the floor plan and the size and the rooms and the 3-car garage, it fit what we needed for a house. But if you go back and you watch the very first video I made from this lot, when there was nothing here, if I recall correctly, it was in like January or February of 21. I said something to the effect that I'm not crazy about the lawn, but in a way I'm looking at it as a challenge to create something very original and unique that you're not typically seeing on the average lawn care YouTube channel. The plain Jane canvas of nothing but grass, no landscaping, no slopes, no undulations, just how flat and smooth can we get it? And I'm making good on that, and it's fun. I think when it's all said and done, this will really be a fun yard to take care of. It will be a lot less on turf management, but a lot more heavy on perennials and flower beds and landscaping and lighting that I'm going to have a lot of fun with, besides just mowing a big, huge lawn of nothing but grass.
You can go nuts at landscape lighting. I mean, maybe we should probably, maybe one week we'll do something on that landscape lighting. And because I have landscape lighting everywhere around my yard, and I love it. I love lighting up the trees and different, the siding and just the different things. I mean, it really makes your house pop with landscape lighting, and it's very easy to do. So maybe we'll talk about that in another week.
And on this here, I mean, I would have loved to have incorporated landscape lighting as it's being built. Could you imagine those steps with some lights built into the stone wall? But I mean, you can only do so much on a project like this, and it leaves a little room at the end for me to tinker with some of the finer details. When this is all done, all they're doing is putting a finished grade on it with topsoil and laying new Tifway 419 sod. In the flower bed spaces, it's going to be topsoil. I'm going to come in, I'm going to do all the mulching, all the planting, all the river rock, all the landscaping is going to be done on my end after this is complete. So I'm going to kind of have a blank canvas at that point with a whole new look to start shaping it and making it develop from there the way I want it to, and not with what the builder threw in, like you see in a lot of houses where the builder throws in some crappy, cheap landscaping and takes off, and then you got to tear it all out. And of course, I had to do that with a full lawn, but I'm getting what I want at this point, which is the exciting part.
Yeah.
So that's obviously been my big news going on in the front lawn. We've been doing some things in the back, Joe, but let's talk about. And I'm gonna get you for this one day, Joe. I'm gonna get you for this. You're just killing me here. Hey, if you don't know what I'm talking about, last week Joe's been putting me in little secret hiding places. This one not so secret, not so hidden, in some of the pictures we're doing. And we're thinking about, if you can be the first to spot me on a weekly basis, or at least one show a month. We're going to start doing a giveaway. But for now, Joe, tell us what in the world. Are you ready to burn the whole thing down now?
Oh yeah, I'm just got my torch ready to go. Maybe I'll go all Mel Gibson tonight and go out there and freedom, and just burn the lawn down. And my neighbors go, "What the hell's going on with this guy?" They probably think I'm nuts already when I walk around with a headlamp on outside. But
you're like
yeah,
Zelensky on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids
um,
when he's out in the
I,
yard at night with the
like what
headlamp
like
on.
so our house is one of the only houses in our neighborhood that's probably green at this point.
It looks
And so
good.
yeah, so and I have the pixel lights. I still have the pixel lights going even during this time of the year. I have like a springish design that's like a green, a blue, and a white, and then I have an American flag. And then at 10 o'clock, it goes to like all warm white. So I'll have to take a picture so I can show everybody next week what it looks like. It looks really great. So like when we meet somebody new in our neighborhood, I go, "Yeah, I'm the house with the lights," and they're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know that house."
You're the weirdo with his Christmas lights still up. Do they give you hell thinking you've got Christmas lights still up, or
No, a lot of people say like, "Wow, how'd you do that?" Like, I love to do that to my house.
you're going to start
So
seeing some of that, more and more of that kind of lighting, because it really is. It really is pretty sweet.
it is pretty sweet. But anyway, going back to the grass, Travis there is pointing out my POA that I got in my lawn, and I'm known as Joey Poa Grass in one of the discords
How did that
because
come about? Because you have tons of
I
poa.
just I gotta yeah. There's POA. There's a little bit of POA everywhere in my lawn, and I'm to the point where like I'm not gonna spend 500 $400 on a herbicide to spray it out. And it's funny that we're talking about it. Earlier today, I saw some kind of advertisement. I forget what website it was for, and they were advertising different. I think there was like four different herbicides, and tenacity. For some reason, they said tenacity was one that's a post emergent that can control POA, but I don't think it really can control the POA. But from whatever I've seen online, there's a Facebook group out there for New Jersey lawn care that I'm in, and there's been people posting stuff in there about their POA and their lawn. And just about everyone says, you got to do a pre-emergent in the fall time. You kind of just got to nix that mentality of doing a fall overseed of every year, and just one year, just really, if the lawn's pretty established like mine is for the most part, just bite the bullet, do a pre-emergent, and but do it early in the fall time in like August or even September, like mid-August, late August, and definitely before late September, like early September, get it down there. So these seeds that are want to germinate, are not going to germinate. So in the springtime, I won't hopefully I won't have this next year. So that's kind of like my game plan this year is I've been cutting it low, so I've been cutting it low enough where the seed heads I've
You
been bagging
definitely
it.
got to control those, because
Yeah, so
if they go to seed,
I've been bagging the ones that do have the seed heads, and I've been cutting lower than I normally like to cut. But I had this problem last year, and by like I don't know, end of April into May, it was pretty much you couldn't really tell about see the POA anymore. The lawn really thickened up, and it really didn't bother me. And it honestly really doesn't bother me that much now because
I mean, it looks good.
still looks good. I mean, like in the middle of the day, 12 o'clock, like this day was pretty overcast when I took this picture. But like when I came home for lunch today, I mean, it was sunny. The grass looked dark. I mean, it was dark. It's green. I mean, it's the darkness is there, and I haven't thrown down any kind of fertilizer that has really a high iron in it. So I know it's that Mountain View seed that I'm using. I mean, that Mountain View seed is a very dark. It's a dark tall fescue seed, and that's why I used it the last 2 years, and I've been happy with it. So yeah, so that's my POA lawn.
Hey,
So
Bill, appreciate that. Really appreciate
oh
that,
man,
and
super TA.
also appreciate.
You gotta DM me about this sign, Bill, and I'm gonna get this to you because I made this specifically just for you. So thanks for tuning in.
Uh, Also, thank you for all the positive feedback I was seeing about the front yard. Appreciate your interest in kind words. It's really going to look sweet, and thanks for following along. Hey, Joe, you said it though, because I'm fortunate that where I'm at with the POA, once it gets super hot in the summer, it's just scorched. It's gone. But I don't have to worry about overseeding because I'm going to go dormant with my
Yeah.
Bermuda, and I'm not going to overseed with the ryegrass for the winter. But you do have to hit it with that pre-emergent because my old lawn at the old house, I had POA all in the backyard. And I thought, how big of a difference could it make? One fall of a pre-emergent. In my next spring, I had hardly any POA at
Yeah.
all. Where it
Yeah.
was really just along the fence where you take the string trimmer and it's cut down so low. I mean, it
Yeah.
just it that was really the only place I had it. But you have to get it with the pre-emergent, and folks need
Yeah.
to understand
Yep.
too that most of your weed killers, like you mentioned, a $400 or $500 weed killer for killing POA. Or I don't know how much they are. I've never looked into it, but you cannot just go look at a lot of the post-emergent weed killers at Lowe's or Home Depot and think that because they say they kill weeds that it's going to kill an annual bluegrass. That is a grass. It's not
Yeah.
a weed covered by most non-selective herbicides. So it takes a specific kind of herbicide to kill the POA. So
Yep.
if you've already got it in the spring, like Joe said, you got to just think about getting it next fall. I mean,
Yep.
there's it's if you do that, you will have success at getting rid of it. And you have to keep those seed heads from coming up because the more of those you
I'm
let get
not,
out in the lawn, it's going to be tough.
and I'm not like I know like my lawn is the blend that I have is like I think it's 85% tall fescue or 90% tall fescue. I forget what it is now. So there is some Kentucky bluegrass in there, and it's some of the 365 SS that Mountain View Seed has. I forget exactly what cultivar of bluegrass it is. So and that's what the sod farm, that's what they like to do. They like to mix the bluegrass in with the tall fescue, so you do have some spreading capability with the Kentucky bluegrass in the tall fescue, and so I do have that. So if I do have some bare areas, I'm hoping to see some of that fill in, from the seed that I've been putting down the last 2 years, and we'll see what happens. At the time will tell. So.
Absolutely. Hey, Bill, yes, I have fallen down my driveway several times after snow and ice. Several, and then you get up and you're looking around, making sure no one else is outside. Sometimes you try to play it cool and you just try to, get your center of gravity straight and just slide down on your feet like you're skiing. Yes, I have fallen. Hey, Joe, have you ever fallen in your swimming pool,
Uh,
like accidentally?
that's a good question.
Well, because
No, I
if
don't
you
think.
if you have, maybe you need
No.
a natural border, Joe.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
cheesy way to bring you into the natural border. But what are you thinking about here? Are you
So, so the red. So they had a when they put the cement in. So if you guys don't follow my channel, we got a whole pool renovation last year, and I'll probably do a full video on it probably some point this spring once we open the pool up, probably at the end of April. And so full concrete around the pool, liner, you name it, we got it done. And so like you speaking of your big project, this was our big project in
yours
the
is
fall
in the
time.
rear view?
Yeah. So and kind of like you, we had great weather. Like I was praying every day when that pool was completely empty because that wall, the pool, there was a pool wall around there. It was a fiberglass pool wall. I mean, this pool is probably like 20 years old. And the whole time I'm praying, like I don't want a strong storm. I don't need a strong rain because the whole time I'm thinking like this wall is going to collapse. And thank God it was beautiful. We had beautiful weather when we eventually had to drain the pool completely. So really thank God for the rain holding off. But they had to, they had to dig out the concrete that was there, and so that border there, that red line, it was all like dirt, and I really didn't want grass all the way up to the concrete. We cut in so many lawns in my day next to pools. Like it just, you're gonna get grass in the pool, and I really don't want to have to skim the pool getting the grass in the pool. So I kind of just made the call of putting in a border there. I'm gonna put like a nice live edge there, and we have to mulch our backyard. We have beds that go around the pool, so I figured I might as well just put some mulch in there, and then the kids they can plant some stuff in there. My wife can plant some different flowers or stuff there if we want, and that's kind of the game plan for that area because I just don't want to deal with the grass right next to the pool. I know it's going to be I just know how it is. So and we really don't want to do stone, and we really don't like that was our big thing with the backyard. I mean, once you do stone, you're stuck with that stone because you are not moving that stone out,
Yeah.
so we've always kept with just mulch,
Uh-huh.
and I think we're going to keep it that way just because and plus it's easier to walk on, and we usually get playground mulch, which is like, they say it's better for, impact and stuff
Is
like
it
that.
like the
And
rubber mulch?
it's not rubber mulch. I don't know. That's what they call it in our area. They call it playground mulch. It's just like wood chips, but they're not dyed. And
Okay.
that's another thing. I really don't like dye mulch, especially around the pool,
Mm-hmm.
because the kids they just we don't have we're not our pool. Originally we put up a safety fence around the pool because our kids were small and we were always afraid that they were going to fall in the pool. Now that we got this nice concrete, we really don't want to put up that fence this year. And our oldest, he knows how to swim, and we're hoping our youngest he'll learn to swim as this summer as well. So we feel more comfortable about it. So so we're trying to like we're way so we just always stuck with mulch, and that's our thing. And just like the dye mulch, it gets on your feet, and then you jump in the pool. So it's like we just do the non-dyed playground mulch around our areas. And if ever do kind of color mulch, it's around our front of our house, around our flower beds, around there, and because we're not jumping in the pool or running in there, and and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's my game plan. Hopefully maybe next weekend or the following weekend get the mulch down, and I might dig that out a little bit better. But
You said the wife and kids might plant some stuff in there. Do you ever find your windowsills inside the house just covered with plastic cups and new little plants growing up out of some topsoil? That's what one of our windows looks like right
oh
now. So
jeez.
I might have to. We may have to designate a space in the backyard in one of those flower beds for the kids and wife to.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to it, Laura, if you're watching right now.
Yeah.
But I suppose that would be a better spot than in the breakfast nook window. Although the plants
Yeah.
are looking really nice, they're coming in really really well. They're taking care of them. Kids are getting over
Good.
there. Wife's getting over there with a little spray bottle, and they're taking off.
Good.
So maybe they're onto
Good.
something.
Yeah.
So is gardening something you're looking at getting into as well? You had sent this picture to me. Was this mainly a woodworking project you were interested in, or is this?
Yeah. So actually this is on the other side of the where that border was. This is on the other side, and you can see we have these grasses that grow up, and we have the mulch there, and my neighbor's fence on the side. And this was pretty much just like leftover wood from actually building the table that my laser goes on. I had some leftover plywood and some 2x4s, and my wife really wanted me to make planters for the kids. So one kid's gonna have one, the other kid's gonna have the other one, and then I she wanted like some kind of cucumber, like a mesh, or like a, what do you call it, a or not an arbor, but I forget what she called it.
Your
I
brain's
forget
like
the name.
mine tonight. Earlier, I couldn't think of what we were talking about when it
There's
comes to
an I
pizza.
can't think of it. So she wants the kids really like these like small cucumbers, that we grow them every year, and they got to grow up on a vine. So I got these, like, I don't know what they're not shims, but they're like really skinny. I don't know if they're one by ones or they're very skinny. That's what the that mesh is on there. And pretty much everything that I had was pretty much left over. So I kind of didn't have to buy it. I only bought like maybe $50 worth of wood to finish this. And then we had the mesh from something from last year in our other gardens. And then I just stapled it on there. So it should hold up pretty good. And so it'll be a fun little thing for the kids. They might paint it. I don't know what they're going to do yet, but
When you do these
you know,
kind of things, do you always? Is there always a little voice in the back of your head that says, "I'm going to be the one that ends up taking care of this before it's all said and
no,
done"?
they know that I don't want nothing to do with the garden.
There you
I
go.
I set up like I have drip irrigation in our garden, and that's like the most I've done. Well, actually I shouldn't say that's the most I've done. Uh there was one area of our yard. We had these big overgrown bushes when we first moved in. We got them trimmed down, the stumps grinded, and then I built big raised beds. I mean, these beds are probably, I think each bed took about a yard of topsoil to fill. That's how big these beds were. So, and that was a lot of work. So 3 yards of topsoil total for each of these beds. And I ran the drip irrigation there. I have it up on the timer. I have it going every day, but it's up to them to plant the stuff, pick out the weeds, do whatever they want. That's up to them. I'm done. I did my job. So
I have no interest in food gardening. I like the flower gardening, as I guess you would
okay,
call it.
yeah,
But when it comes to planting edibles, things that we can turn into our supper or part of our supper, I'm not too
trell.
interested in it.
Pat got the word.
Is
It's
that the word,
trellis.
trellis?
Trellis. I couldn't think of it. Yeah.
See, Pat, there you go.
Thank you, my Philly friend.
Oh, I see this new budding friendship, just like these plants and flowers that we're talking about. It's forming right before our eyes, Joe.
I did find a little leprechaun in one of the
What?
things there.
Oh shoot! No one did. Anyone else see that? I saw it, but I didn't want to call it out. Has anyone else found me in this picture of Joe's new wooden
Travis
garden
just pops
beds?
up everywhere.
Gosh, that's funny. I do see those when you send them to me, Joe, but I also don't want to like point them all out because if we're gonna do this for a giveaway, where's
Yeah,
Travis in the
well,
photos? Then
yeah. I think starting next week we don't say anything, and then but we
just see
said
who says it.
we'll just see who says it, and then we can go from there.
What
So
are we gonna give away, Joe? Like a $20 or $25 gift card to Lowe's or Home Depot, whoever's choice, whatever they will ship
yeah,
them in gift card in the mail, and they can go get whatever the heck they want. I don't care. I don't care what you want to use from Home Depot or Lowe's. We'll give you a $20 or $25 gift card, Joe, and I'll discuss it. And first one next week that finds me in one of the pictures hidden like a little Easter egg, we'll get your information and we'll send you a gift card. And you can go buy a bag of fertilizer or some solar lights for your lawn. I don't know. You go pick. I don't really care. Hey,
yeah.
Joe,
New toilet seat, whatever you want.
hey, have you heard of the bidet toilet seats? Is that how you say
Yes.
it? Man, I hear those things are legit. Like the heated
Yeah.
ones where in the
Yeah.
wintertime you're going to go take you a deuce first thing in the morning. That toilet seat's colder than ice. I've heard those things are legit. Almost to the point where you don't want to get off of it. Have you ever been on one?
I've never been on one. I've seen one. My wife's friend at their place they had one, but I never used it. Yeah.
Hey,
So
we were talking about that the weather
yeah, we're
has.
talking about everything tonight.
It's
I mean,
dude,
Jesus.
my brain. I'm not kidding you.
Toilet seats,
When,
you
when
name
you
it.
when you were doing
Gardening,
when you
walls,
when you were doing your back lawn or your back pool
Bud Light, you
project.
name it.
Oh gosh,
Jesus.
get out of here. When you were doing your back pool project, I'm telling you, my brain when I get home from school to check things out, like last week not so much, but now that things are going, tonight I've got like a million different thoughts going through my head
Yeah.
all at the same time, all while trying to talk to you
The,
guys and look
the
at
one
the computer and the whole
the,
thing.
the one piece of advice that I'll give you, and I mean you're a smart enough guy, but just if there's something that you want to do, if like additional, like if there's like a certain section that you think you should have went further with like the rock or the stone or the wall, or like maybe just like even if it's like a couple feet or a couple inches here and there, like do it. Because there's one area where the cement came and they kind of went on an angle, and they should have probably squared it off more. And I kind of wish that was done, and now it's like over, and I'm not going to do it now. And there's another section where the concrete maybe could have went a little bit further. I mean, it still looks good, it's still good, but maybe it just is like that. It was like maybe it's not even like 2 feet, but that extra like 2 feet like would have made like a big a difference. And so there's just like those little things that you don't as a project's going on, and you think, it'll be fine. But like, think about it, like whenever you're doing something, I kind of like sometimes I second guess myself where I think it'll be fine. But then when you get done, you're like, man, fuck, I should have listened to myself.
We've already had me and the guys doing it. They've been real good about keeping me posted daily. I get to visit with the project manager when I come home in the afternoons, and that we've already started having some brief conversations about, okay, once we do this, we're going to have to decide, hey, are we going to leave it like this, or do you want to do it this way, which would be a little bit different from the original plan, perhaps. But the original plan is kind of funky because a lot of what's going on in this hillside, we're trying to figure it out as it goes, especially around some of the water meters and the water city supply for where the water comes in, the main water line and all that kind of stuff. So it was really hard to really set in stone what it was going to look like, because as they're digging into this hillside, we're kind of encountering what's there. And this afternoon they were digging the trench for the second wall and came across the water line from the main to the house, and those things don't get marked. So and it was 4 or 5 feet underground, so
Wow.
in that hillside. So they were lucky they saw that, because they were anticipating it being over by the water boxes, but it was more in the center of the yard. So, but I agree with you. If something comes up and it I know that it'll drive me crazy further on down the road, we may just have to bite the bullet. Because the big thing we've talked about tonight, or for this project today, and ever since we started, is we just want it to be done right. Like we don't want corners cut. If we plan on being here for 20 years or longer, I don't know. I want to look at it and say we did it the whole way, the right way from the get-go, and not regretting decisions later on down the road. Hey, Bill's asking overtime tonight. Maybe we could talk about my back lawn. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I wanted to address John's comment about the great hot dog fight at the Phillies game. The Phillies, real quick story. The Phillies have a dollar dog night. They usually have a couple throughout the year, and I actually was at one last year, and it was, I think that they were playing the Dodgers, I think, and like literally one guy bought like a whole, like the catering tray of hot dogs, and he's walking down the aisle and he's just like throwing them out like this to the people, and people just like launch the hot dogs like on like this on the second level, and you see them flying down. It's nuts. I mean, it is nuts. I had probably like 5 hot dogs that night.
Oh,
and
shoot.
I was stuffed, and a couple beers obviously, but yeah, the dollar dog nights are legendary at the Phillies game.
You ever had a chili slaw dog with coleslaw and chili and white onions, a little bit of mustard?
Never have.
Dude,
Never have.
do yourself a favor, find you a hot dog place around there. I don't know if they're very popular around there.
Nah,
but you got to get you a chili slaw dog at some point. Hey, Bill, I don't know. Let's just see where it goes. How about I show you real briefly? We've got some pictures.
Yeah.
You don't want to miss Joe's hot take tonight, because it's it's a good one. And I'm
completely
sure
forgot about it, actually.
And I'm sure some of you probably have some strong feelings on this topic as well. But real quickly, Joe, my backyard, I finally got out in it. I swore up and down that I wasn't going to start anything until April 15th, and this past Saturday fell on April 15th. So I went out and I did the old scalpy scalp. No pre-scalp for this guy. I really have a hard time understanding the pre-scalp. If you're mowing Bermuda low anyways, there wasn't a whole lot to take off back here. But I went ahead and scalped it down, cleaned up, and not necessarily in the mulch beds, but in my edge lines along the mulch bed. The dog has just pushed a lot of the mulch through the wintertime out into my edges. So I cleaned up my edges between the mulch and the grass. Some people like those to kind of butt up next to each other. But with Bermuda, the way it creeps and crawls and it grows right over the top of that mulch, I would rather have me a nice little trench there, a little gap, and just take my string trimmer along there and clean those babies up every time I mow. or every other time I mow. It gets to be too much if you do it every time. But I still have all the plans in the world of getting these flower beds full of perennials and shrubs and other evergreens that'll look good all year long. But it's it's just a slow process. It's hard to. Rome wasn't built in a day. You got to kind of just take one thing at a time. So
trust the process.
you got to, as Bill said, trust the process. Here's one last look at the back lawn. You can see this was just this past Saturday. Even though it's been pretty warm for spring, highs in the upper 70s, low 80s, just a couple times, we don't have a whole lot of green. I mean, there is some green there, but the reason that's really green is because it's kind of sandwiched in between that retaining wall and the back side of the house facing south. So that's the warmest part of the yard right there, up on top of the hill above the retaining wall. There's not as much green coming through. So you get a lot of heat that bounces off the house and heats that soil up close to the house, close to the paver patio, and it just warms up a little bit faster. So whether I want it to be full-blown lawn season or not, which I'm excited and ready to rock and roll, with the project going on in the front lawn and everything else that needs to be done, and, it's okay that right now the backyard isn't going gangbusters because my hands are full and tied elsewhere. So, but this will be green and bumping like crazy and be whining about the heat at some point. So, got to take advantage of this nice, pleasant spring weather while we've got it, because before too long it'll be hot and dry and we'll be whining around about that. Hey, Bill, you're the man, dude. Quit doing that. Okay, or don't quit doing it, but you don't have to. Yeah. That's not an expectation. Joe, your hot take this week, I think folks will certainly find it relatable, because it's not something that's going away. We're not going to see this topic leave us anytime soon. It's probably, if anything, it's probably going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And I love the fact that you have me in there as well, Joe. Thanks for including me. I don't want to be left out.
Yeah, I had to. This was an article on a Yahoo. I have a Yahoo email address, so I'm always
What are you living in the 90s?
Yeah, I've had this email address since I've been like, I don't know, high school years probably. I don't know, but anyway, so it was basically about states and towns, considering banning, gas powered leaf blowers and lawnmowers. And would you people just leave us alone? I mean, I'm sick and tired of these politicians, trying to control our lives. Just let us freaking live our life. If we want a gas powered lawnmower, a leaf blower, we want a gas powered vibrator, whatever the hell we want, you should let us have it. Whoever we are, and just let us be. I mean, seriously. I'm sick and tired of this battery movement shit. And I mean, when these politicians are flying around on their private jets, they don't fly, half of them probably don't even fly commercial. And I don't want to hear this shit. We have a fucking president that's, he'll fly around in his Air Force One to go to fucking Ireland for a stupid handshake, and he can't even answer a question from a grade school guy. And he's got to have he's got to have that beast with him that guzzles gas probably God knows how badly. And, it's just like, they made it, they were trying to make the point of, an hour's worth of mowing with gas is like comparable to something. And I'm just like, it's just got to stop. I mean, the little Husqvarna blower that I have, I can't even use it on the low setting. I got to have it on the high setting, because I'm not going to stand in one place and, forever the blow something. And when they have it on the high speed, it might last like 15, 20 minutes. I mean, like, you can't get shit done when shit's not going to last you more than 15, 20 minutes. I mean, some of us, it might only take us 5 minutes to, get the deed done, but some of us, it takes us a little bit longer, and, I mean, it depends if you're on a blue pill or not, but, that's another story. But, what I'm just getting at is
Joe,
just
we need this energy throughout the whole show. We might have to start the show every week with Joe Knows Hot Take. Joe, I think we're going to have to do that. Next week, we're moving you to the front. We're stacking you to the front of the show.
Well, I'll have to have a good hot take then for next week because honestly, this one came at like last minute. I really, honestly, wasn't a whole ton of shit that I could. A lot of shit I can't talk about on here because we'll get in trouble. But this was something that just like of course, one of the states is the great state of New Jersey, the state that I live in, and I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. I just they already make the carburetors terrible as is now. They don't make them like they used to, and we talked about that before. Where I don't mix my gas anymore with the oil because it just seemed these carburetors today just seemed to clog on end today. So I use the regular pre-mix stuff that you get at Home Depot or Lowe's, and it's just I can't stand when people that that make laws that have no fucking clue what it's like to do this shit in the real world, and they're trying to just.
Hey Joe, can you get real close to the microphone again? Give us a little bit of like some of that animation again. Now that you're all up by yourself, Bill is telling you to breathe, Joe. Breathe. Take some deep breaths. Take some deep breaths, Joe. It's all gonna be okay.
I don't know. We've been. How many years have we been using gas powered equipment, and all of a sudden it's a problem? I mean, I don't know.
It's coming for you.
Well, let's ban these politicians from using private jets. Let's make them use electric cars wherever they go. It'll take them forever to get to wherever they got to go. They'll have to stop at a charging station every probably 50 fucking miles. But too bad. If you guys want us to change, you need to change. And that's how it should be. So that's my hot take for the week.
There you go. Joe, we may leave us a comment in the chat or in the comment section after we finish up. Should we move Joe Knows Hot Take all the way to the beginning of the show? Is that where we might need that, Joe, to pick up some energy? Because tonight my energy's been down. Does it seem like my energy has been down?
I think both our energies have been down. Mine is up now, and I probably won't be able to fall asleep now. But maybe I'll go outside with my headlamp on and maybe dig some holes or something. I don't know.
So yeah, maybe you need to go out there and pull up all your POA.
All my POA.
Hey, I was cracking up the other day that you're short about if you don't like your neighbors to start blowing the dandelions over.
I actually like my neighbor, so he lends me some tools from time to time. So
So when are we going to see the next big laser project?
So Thunder Thursdays #2. We'll show everybody how this sign was made. Yes, it's real. I think it came out pretty good, and it's got little
it looks good
hanger on the back.
So I saw that where you're making your little hangers from the laser.
Yeah. So I was originally doing a string, and I'm like, you know what? I can cut something out, and I designed this little thing right here, and it's all just super glued on, and it's nice and solid and works good. And this is for you, Super TA.
That's
cool.
For you. That's cool. Hey Joe, it looks like your hot take has some people on board with you, so you're not alone. Whenever it brings you down, just know that you're not alone. Joe, what do you got? What do you got? We went into overtime thanks to Bill. What do you got left for tonight? Anybody have anything they want to touch on before we wrap this thing up for another Budget Wooder show here? It's our hour-ish is holding true here lately. The hour slap me in the face is over, Joe. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good. I appreciate Pat finally starting to like me. It's been a long time coming. So
well, he even gave you some help tonight. So I think that means the hatchet's buried. What do you say, Pat? Is the hatchet buried?
John says start and end. I can't do 2 hot takes in 1 week.
Oh, you want to start and end the show with?
Yeah,
You wouldn't want to do one at the beginning and end?
I don't know. I would have to come up with 2 different hot takes, but it'd be very, like I said, there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about on here. So
I can imagine, Joe. I
Yeah.
can imagine. Well, hey, folks, seeing as we got folks dropping off, we're over our hour. We're truly grateful that many of you have been regulars with us every Tuesday night. We hope you'll be back with us next Tuesday night. We couldn't do this without y'all, but what we need you to do, help us out a little bit more. Let's get some more folks in here. Let's get some friends, some family members. Tell them, hey, look, we're not just sitting around talking about grass, talking about lawn mowing and all that kind of stuff. We'll get into other topics if you so desire, but we know you're here for mainly the grass and lawn stuff, so we want to make sure we give you that to a certain extent because that's what you're here for. Joe, you got any parting words for us tonight?
If you haven't smashed the like button already, make sure you smash the like button. And if there's something that you want us to talk about next week, or something that you like to hear from us, a story or whatever, what's going on, drop us a comment after the video gets published, or in the comment section right now, or in the chat. And I hope everyone has a good week.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, have a great rest of the week. Hope you enjoy your beginnings of the lawn season. We'll keep you posted on what's going on in ours, and we'll see you same time, same place next Tuesday. Peace out.